Good afternoon, Professor Chen, Professor Fan, faculty members, students, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased and feel honored to receive the Beta Gamma Sigma Chinese University Hong Kong Chapter Honoree Award. And I'm equally honored today to have the opportunity to meet and speak to the elite students, the freshmen of the CUHK Business School. The former get me connected to the best in industry, and the latter get me connected to the future leaders of the society and business. Being connected is very important in today's world. And being connected means that I have the opportunity to share and learn experience and thoughts from each other. So today, I'm very delighted to share some of my experience and observations about the transforming of the digital society. The pace of the change is unprecedentedly fast, owing to a number of emerging technologies. First, the power of mobile and social. It is a truly mobile-first world. We noticed that over 10 times more smartphones or tablets are sold every day than babies being born. And you may not notice it, the average person checks their mobile phones, smartphones, 150 times a day, or nearly every 6 seconds. So throughout my speech, maybe you have to check it a few times. I did not notice it, but then of a second thought, in fact, I did that too. Remember or notice how many emails you receive, how many WhatsApp groups you're in, and how many times you receive notifications from other marketing organizations giving you messages. And at the same time, social. Facebook now has 1.49 billion monthly active users, and they are still growing at 13% year to year. So it is now bigger than the largest country in the world, China, which only has 1.36 billion of people. And secondly, is the availability of data. Sometimes we call it the big data. More than 2.5 trillion bytes of data is created every day. Imagine, that means that number has to be followed by 18 zeros. And that's roughly equal to over 500 million high-definition movies that you get download. And this includes all the countless updates of video, images, and daily updates to the social media that increasingly originated from the mobility devices. So this use of mobile and social technologies really have increased immediately the accessing of data and instantly communicating and also collaborating is really becoming the second nature of many people today. And the third technology is analytics and cognitive computing. Cognitive computing, in fact, is with all these data, in fact, you do a lot of analytics. And cognitive computing is a computer system that learns and thinks and perform a specific task after training. Now you can compare human with the traditional machines. Human, we all process data, but we can only do a very limited amount of information. And sometimes we get physically or mental fatigue. So that means we are not scalable such a way. And we do make mistakes. Whereas traditional machines, they can handle ambiguity. They are pre-programmed, they are rigid, they cannot learn, reason, or relate, and they do not interact in natural means. Whereas cognitive computing, they bring three capabilities: engage, discover, and decide. So cognitive computing is really a machine that learns and builds knowledge through structured and also unstructured data. And they understand natural language, and they also interact naturally. At the same time, they are able to capture expertise of top performers and also accelerate development and expertise on each other. And eventually, they will be able to enhance cognitive process of professionals so that they can help to improve decision making, and also at the same time helping to have quality and consistency in decision making. But one disadvantage is they always provide answers with margins of error. So they are not 100% accurate, but they provide a lot of additional information for people, for humans, to make decisions much better. And all these technologies, together with robots and also 3D printing that are becoming increasingly popular, are changing our life, are changing our society, changing the industries and also the professions as well. And also they're spurring disruptive innovations that span across the economy. Examples impacting our life or society. In the old days, basically, a lot of the things are being controlled by the corporations, by the companies, so they push a lot of things to you. Today, it is becoming more individual-centric because of everybody's being connected and being empowered. So we are seeing a shift from the corporations, in fact, into the individual-centered economy. For individuals like yourself, you like content delivered your way. You like it anytime, anywhere you get access. And you also like to have multi-screen applications and experience. And the most important of all, you always feedback whether you like or you don't like through the social media. So we can see that traditional industries like the entertainment industry have been changed a lot. In the old days, we do CDs, we do MP3s. Today, with Spotify, in fact, you download, you stream all the data to you, and you can pick and choose at whatever and whenever you want to have them. So they're bringing a lot of changes to this industry. Healthcare is another industry. Like in the past, we rely on individual doctors to do a lot of the medical judgments. Today, with the computer, with IBM Watson, which is a cognitive computer. In fact, in the last 4 years, this computer has studied all available scientific papers and clinical trials on particular cancers and potential therapies so that they will be able to, based on the observations from the doctors, to provide very, very good advices for doctors to make judgments. Today, it is helping 14 US and Canadian cancer institutions on cancer treatment. Prior to Watson, it took weeks to identify drugs targeting at cancer-causing mutations. And today, it takes hours or even faster. And this includes a lot of the latest informations. And Watson, today, in fact, we're starting to build not only on data, but also on visual. That means he can capture the videos and extract the data to make it available to the users. And the other example is car manufacturing. 3D printing, you probably heard a lot about this. What 3D printing is going to do is going to interrupt and disrupt manufacturing. Not just because it is low cost, relatively, production, but it's also the speed to market and the possibility of tailoring to one particular need so everybody can have their own design or desire. There are a lot of early examples like making vases, making bracelets in the design industry. But then in July, one of the US company called Local Motors have unveiled the world's first road-ready line of 3D printed cars. What does that mean? That means you can design your own car. You can have your own engine, you can have all your models together at a relatively less expensive cost. And the very first running version of this new vehicle, in fact, is scheduled to be commissioned by September of this year. And delivery, they expect to start in the first quarter of the year 2016. All this, in fact, would have a very, very big impact on the car production and will accelerate changes in the entire manufacturing. And how about on the professionals? Very, very typical example is on marketing. Marketing profession is undergoing a very much data-driven marketing transformation. This means collecting data about customers from online and offline interactions, as well as from social networks, applying analytics to understand customers as individuals, and then design and roll out precise and personalized marketing campaigns. And this new generation of marketing professions need to be data savvy while being innovative in harnessing mobile and social technologies to engage the customer. One very good example is a company called Game On. Game On has about 6,000 stores, and they have their mobile apps. So they want to engage customers, showering them with relevant insights from employees, partners, and other customers. And they only have 3 seconds to captivate one customer. We'll just name it Bobby, for example, as he enters one of the stores. So in 3 seconds, the company has to make sure that this person is indeed Bobby, and to make sure where is Bobby among these 6,000 stores that they have. Is Bobby a club member? And what has he purchased recently? And what have others, customers like Bobby, have purchased? And then we score all these results and pick up recommendations so that they can build a video, what they call the perfect game for Bobby, as he steps into the shops, so as to promote and make Bobby purchase in that particular shop. So this really have changed a lot. This also have an implication on writing, authors. Writers, be they journalists or corporate communications or authors, their core skill set have always been the ability to gather and synthesize information to create stories that are relevant to the audience or to a particular audience. 2 US companies, Automated Insights and Narrative Science, are using algorithms to gather and synthesize information, and natural language generators to create articles for Associated Press and Forbes. These articles, in fact, generated by what we call robo-writers, are mostly on data-driven topics like sports or finance, and they are virtually indistinguishable from those written by humans. And this robot writing is not limited to news. True Love is the first successful book to be written by robots, was published in the year 2008 in Russia. And this book was written in the style of the Japanese author Honoree Murakami, in a variation on another author, Neil Tolstoy's Anna Karenina. There's a Chinese saying in the past, 熟讀唐詩300首，不會吟詩也會偷. Translated is, if you're familiar with the tongue's poets, even though if you do not know how to make a poet, you can always quote and quote steal or make up a poet through that. And this is happening today with all the authors. So the writers, in fact, has to change and transform. They have to rethink about their positioning and also how to differentiate from these robot writers. Now, with all these changes being brought by the digital technologies, sometimes we call it disruptive innovations, differentiating from the sustaining innovation where you're gradually improving or changing from your existing products or services. These are changing the whole world, changing a lot of industries. and they are also impacting a lot of the companies. In fact, one of the statistics show that the CEOs, or the job tenure, the average job tenure for the CEOs in the Fortune 500 companies in the year 2000 used to be 10 years, and is now being cut down to only 5 years today. So CEOs, if you're not fast enough to change, you're gonna have to find another job. And this also have posed a lot of impact and pressure on education. IBM, together with the Economist Intelligence Unit, we have done a survey last year. We have surveyed more than 900 academic and business leaders globally that consists of academic leaders, senior educators, and a lot of it from the corporation are the corporate recruiters and learning executives. And they have come out and tell us that the speed of technological innovation and industry demands are moving much faster than there are a lot of shortfalls of students in the most requirements for success in the workplace. And they have identified 4 areas that they have being the most important requirements of students after they graduated. And then those they believe are also shortfalls today. They are the ability to analyze problems and also draw out possible solutions. The ability to collaborate effectively and work in teams. The ability to communicate effectively in business contexts. And finally, but not the least, the willingness to be flexible, agile, and adaptable to change. So I hope really that after you graduate, after your years of study here, you will be able to enhance in all those 4 areas. As I said, I'm very glad today, today to come to speak to you. I really would like to share with you 2 of the very important things that I've learned throughout my career. IBM is a 100-year-old company, and we have undergone a lot of transformations, or else we would not have been survived in this time of the year, in this modern, changing, very fast-changing world. So there are 2 things or 2 values I really would like to share with all of you here. The first thing I learned in this company is think. Think is the basis and the foundation belief of the IBM company. Our founder, Thomas J. Watson Sr., said, "The trouble with every one of us is that we don't think enough. Knowledge is the result of thought, and thought is the keynote of success in this business or any business." And think, this motto becomes even more important today, because in a connected world, in a fast-moving world, when we are overwhelmed by oceans of information, we need to think again and again, and go out to try and practice what we think is the right thing. The second thing I learned in this company is respect for the individual. This is the value of all the most valid in the most interconnected world today. There are people of different origins, nations, cultures, and religions are all connected via the internet, through mobile phones, or through the social networks. Professor Chen has talked about asking you to go global, asking you to bear social and ethical responsibility. Respect for every individual is really key. And we can only communicate and collaborate effectively when we hold respect for each other. Well, my last message to all of you is really, I wish every student here a great, enjoyable, fruitful learning experience in the coming 4 years. Do equip yourself with domain knowledge and the ability to continuous lifetime and lifelong learning. The future of Hong Kong, whether it be the most competitive or the most desirable city to live in depends on its people. It is the people who make the difference. Being elite youngsters, you will be the leaders of the Hong Kong society. I encourage you to go out to understand more about the community and the business world, to think about how to make Hong Kong a better place, a better society for ourselves and the next generation. Thank you very much.